Hey guys, welcome back to an interesting video on Wild Rift. So today we're back with yet another Ezreal video, and we did cover the Ezreal complete guide last time, so today we're gonna be taking a look at a supplementary guide for Ezreal, and basically, the loadout is pretty much almost the same. The only real thing you change is you're gonna swap Conqueror for Press the Attack or Empowerment. So I'm not gonna spend too much time talking about this item, because if you guys want to, you can check out the updated complete guide. I'll put it up in the cards above for you guys to check out for an in-depth explanation of the items. But basically, just very briefly in a couple seconds, of course, Gluttonous Greaves for lane. We have Mana Immune to make your auto attacks and your abilities do more damage. Of course, Triforce to proc your Sheen passive as well as give you good stats. Riftmaker for the true damage as well as the Omni Vamp, and then we have Blade of the Rune King to counter the tanks, as well as of course giving you some physical vamp and a armor penetration item, either Serelda's or Mold Reminder for Grievous Wounds or Terminus. So what do we really like? The really only change here is changing Conqueror for Empowerment. I did say Conqueror is better, and I still think so because Ezreal's lane is not very strong anymore because he got those AD nerfs. So he's quite a bit weaker in lane, not as insane as in the previous patches. By previous patches, I mean like 5.2 X patch, right? Because at 5.3 he did get his AD nerfed. So Empowerment used to be the go-to rune for Ezreal. Now it's Conqueror because you're not playing for lane anymore. You're playing for the mid and late game team fights where you can stack up your Conqueror very easily and then, do it that way. But here we go for Empowerment. And this is in matchups you think you can dominate lane, where basically this is gonna give you a 3-hit passive where if you pocket, you're gonna do more damage as well as they will take more damage for the next couple of seconds, 8% more damage. And then pretty much the rest of the runes are the same. You go for Brutal, you go for Giant Slayer, or Coup de Grace, they're all squishy. And then Alacrity for attack speed, and Bone Plating for the defensive stats. And then we go for Flash together with Exhaust for the summoner spells. So without wasting any more time, let's jump into our gameplay. Okay, so now let's take a look at the gameplay itself. So first question to address, when do you want to pick the PTA rune over the Conqueror rune? Well, basically, my answer is only when you're playing against a lane that you think you can win against. So in this particular game, I'm with a Morgana and I am against a Tristana as well as a Sona. Now Sona is notoriously a very, very weak early game champion, and Tristana can't really do very much unless she just jumps in and plops the bomb on you. So she's not weak early game, she's actually pretty strong early game, but she kind of needs to be with an engager to really get her full value, where you can get CC'd by the engager and then she can jump on you and proc the bomb for free. So by herself with an enchanter, she's not that amazing. Sona, again, is not very useful in lane at all. So I think this is a pretty okay matchup to go for press the attack. But again, I think Conqueror is just by default the best rune choice for Ezreal. So I would recommend you go Conqueror 99% of the time, because it's really never ever gonna really be bad. But Price Detect is a very niche rune where you can try to take advantage of very weak lanes. Right, so here, nothing too exciting so far. We of course do want to try to land poke on them and soften them up for when you eventually want to go all in. Of course, if you're going for PTA, you definitely want to fight in lane. You definitely want to try to get kills in lane. You definitely want to go in lane. If you're just farming and doing nothing, then of course you shouldn't be going for press the attack. You should be just going for Conqueror, right? There's no point of going for press the attack if you're not going to do anything. So here, speaking of which, Tristana goes very, very aggressive, focuses down the Morgana. I exhaust her at a very opportune moment and we get the kill onto her. Now we are going onto the Sona, she gets rooted, and we have the PTA coming up again, flash forward for the auto to proc the PTA, and we get a double kill in lane. Now here, we saw Wukong coming up on the Skull Vision, so I'm thinking that I'm in trouble here, and I do actually die. So honestly, I was just trying to see if I could get lucky here and recall before Wukong comes, or if Wukong checks the wrong bush. Something like that. Way too optimistic on my part, but probably what I should have done is either I recall in the lane bush, or I just die to the tower and give Sona the kill, because it's better than giving Wukong the kill. And yeah, so probably I should just let Sona get the kill. Alright, but you guys see the idea here, which is that honestly in this case, this wasn't even initiated by me, right? It was initiated by the Tristana and the Sona going way too aggressive. Sona gets caught again, I land a free Q off of that. And again, something I want to point out very, very important is whenever you play against Tristana, you have to take exhaust. I mean, like maybe 80% of the time you should be taking exhaust against Tristana. and you have to exhaust her at the right moment. You can't panic, you can't exhaust her right as she puts the bomb on you. You have to wait for the bomb to at least charge up like once or twice before you actually lay down the exhaust so that you can reduce her bomb damage. So here, I've actually procced the entire PTA on Tristana, which is why I'm like aggressively jumping in and, you know, going on her. So she made a mistake of letting me hit her like 3 times to proc the PTA, and when that happens, basically in a 1v1, the PTA champ is always going to win because she has lethal tempo, I have PTA, and PTA gives you a lot of damage in short trades, whereas lethal tempo gives you a lot of damage in long fights. And of course, it's not going to be long because I'm going to kill her, so there we go. There we have the aggressive Ezreal in lane, and this is how you're meant to play press the attack on Ezreal. So now that being said, of course this is a replay, so I know how the rest of the game goes. We do get off to a really brilliant start, getting 3 kills in lane, which is definitely the idea of what we want, you know, if we're running this rune. But the game starts to go a bit sideways in a little bit, so you guys will see what happens and, you know, how we adapt to the situation accordingly. Just removing some enemy vision here, hopping back over the wall to secure some CS. And of course, knowing that I just hopped over the wall, I don't want to play aggressive here because I know that Tristana and Sona saw me hop over the wall. So they know that for the next like 20 or so seconds, I won't have my E. So I don't want to play aggressive because they know I don't have my E and they can take advantage of that. So I have the wave frozen right outside my tower, and the Tristana and Sona are getting, you know, no gold and no XP, you know, because the minion wave is too far away. The cannon's actually about to die, but unfortunately, the cannon's not getting focused now, so here I'm again focusing Tristana. However, this is a little bit of an awkward situation where both junglers are here. I have to flash away from the Wukong, and here I get off a very nice ulti. However, I actually got confused there because I thought that Wukong was the fake one. I thought it was the clone, so I didn't actually focus him. I was trying to ignore him, but turns out that was the real Wukong. So if I had focused him, I would have actually killed him, but that was a little bit of a mistake there, and we do end up, you know, dying in the long run, and Tristana does die as well. So overall, it's an even trade with both ADCs kind of going down. Here, I pick up my tier, and I also have the Sheen. Of course, tier to start stacking it, and Sheen, of course, is very handy for that bonus damage in the early game. Of course, your Q procs it as well. So here, Morgana lives on a sliver of... sorry, doesn't live, actually. Dies to, I believe, its red buff, but does trade 1-for-1 with the Wukong, which I would say is worth. Support for jungle is always a good deal, and she also gets a shutdown, which gives her actually more gold than me. So that's nice. And now we are going to go ahead and look for the dragon. Master Yi is on it, and we know Wukong has just respawned, so he's either making his way here or he is going for the Herald. So we send out the spooky ghost to kind of check, and yeah, we do secure the dragon. Likely Wukong is on the Herald. So we're back to the lane, back to collect our CS under tower. And Master Yi actually pinging for the Herald. I'm not sure if you really want to contest the Herald. Wukong is indeed doing the Herald, and Master Yi is indeed going into contest. Now Teemo has priority, is first on the rotation, and Veigar is kind of trying to come as well. But yeah, definitely a fight is gonna break out down there. You guys can see it coming already. In the meantime, we are just CSing, and Yone of all people actually steals the Herald. However, Darius is able to kill, and yeah, you can see at the current moment, we did get a very nice engage onto the Sona, but the Black Shield comes in way too late. I try to go too aggressive, and I do end up dying. So this is kind of the situation where now when Sona has level 5, she has the kind of quote-unquote engage for the Tristana to use to stack up her bomb and to kill us. So now Sona is actually a pseudo engager because with the ulti she can actually engage for Tristana and actually get Tristana the CC that she needs to stack up the bomb. So now the situation has changed completely because now post level 5, the situation is you know, a little bit difficult for us to play. And furthermore, if we take a look at our team, Darius is legendary, and he's been farming my top laner and my jungler. We have a collective 0 and 10 top jungle, and in the chat, they were using the team chat, they are duo queue, and top laner was saying how you know, he's not gonna, or rather the jungler was telling the top laner not to play top lane after this one, and then the top laner was like, yeah, I shouldn't be playing a role that I don't really know how to play. So obviously this top laner has no idea how to play the role. Tristana tries to go in on me. Unfortunately, Wukong is here, which is kind of the main issue, and I do end up dying but I do get 2 plates. So overall, technically that was an even trade because 2 plates is 300 gold, and they got 300 gold from killing me as well. So technically that was an even trade, even though it looked like a complete int. But yeah, so the Darius is now 9-0, and my jungle and my top lane are just basically feeding. Veigar is still 0-0-0, and so he's scaling, but Teemo has a 1k gold lead over him. I'm not sure where that gold lead came from because it clearly was not from the tower plates. So I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure where that came from. But anyways, here we get off a beautiful ult onto the enemy bot lane. Mastery is running them down, and Mastery gets his first 2 kills of the game. And yeah, so the situation is a little bit untenable in terms of the overall state of the game. Now here, I'm thinking that I want to commit to getting this bounty, because getting that tower goal as well as getting that bounty is pretty huge. Now I have no idea where Wukong is, which is kind of the main issue, but I'm thinking, you know, I should kind of just go for this one. And then as I see Wukong coming in, I start to have second thoughts, and I'm like, you know, maybe I can escape because I have exhaust. I have you know, an ability to jump away. So I actually try to escape. I try to duel him 1v1 as I let my minions take down the tower. But of course Wukong is 4-1-4, and I'm, you know, at that point in time 3-4, and yeah, and I don't have my Triforce, I don't have my evolved Mirror Mana, so I can't compete with Wukong and his Triforce damage. So unfortunately we do end up dying, but fortunately we do get the tower. So again, that is an okay trade because we do die, but you know, we get an objective bounty for our team and we get gold for ourselves. So again, my team gets another objective bounty in the mid lane, so we are kind of hanging in there, getting all these objective bounties. But what I really want is I want that shutdown on the Darius. It's a 9-0-0 Darius. At this point, he has like close to 1,000 gold shutdown. I believe he's like 800 plus gold shutdown with 9 kills, somewhere in that ballpark. And that's what I'm really after. But you know, of course, it's not that easy to get a shutdown from the Darius. However, the Darius is kind of going for a weird build. He has Mole Reminder as his like second item after his Triforce, and here Tristana's trying to burst me down again, so I'm gonna have to hop away. It's gonna deal a decent amount of damage, though. And the dragon is now gonna spawn. Wukong is going in onto the Veigar, but surprisingly doesn't really do very much damage to the Veigar, of course with the help of the shield from Morgana. And Wukong is now getting caught a little bit in our jungle, so we're hopping in. This time we actually do end up focusing the clone instead of the real one. And Darius is now coming in from the side. I flash away because I don't want to get hooked in by the Darius. And Darius hooks in the Yone, who's already feeding anyways. Now I'm a little bit sad I didn't save my ult, because if I had saved my ult, I think that would have been a 4-man ult right there at that choke point, but I already used it previously, so I don't have ult for the choke point. But here, basically, Tristana just runs down the Morgana. I think Morgana is heavily underestimating how much damage Tristana can do. And when Tristana starts to get a couple of kills, she can basically just do that. And if you get the full bomb, you know, propped on you, you're basically just dead, right? There's no way you're surviving that. So here we get the Triforce completion. We are, of course, trying to get our Manamune evolved into Mirror Mana. And we're trying to see if we can catch Darius here. I don't think he's going to be dumb enough to get in a fight with all of us, but maybe Yone can actually engage here, and with Veigar and Mastery, maybe we can take him down. But Veigar and Mastery are not actually here, so we definitely should not do that. Because me and him don't win against Darius. Darius is just too fat at this point. He's 10-0. Now he has a Death's Dance, so he's going to reduce my damage and Yone's damage, and, you know, Mastery's damage as well. So that is not good news whatsoever. So here though, the good news is that we are on our 2-item power spike. We have the Manamune evolved into Mirror Mana, and we also have the Triforce. Now I didn't do that on purpose, I was just trying to help out the Master Yi, but I ended up KSing his buff instead, so I had to of course apologize in the chat. But honestly, the Master Yi is kind of so useless that it's not like gold on him really matters. Now I say that as he has like about the same goal as me, but he has like a collector second item, and he has shown that he has no idea what he's doing already. So aside from power farming, apparently he can't really do very much. So although Master Yi is a little bit of a brain dead champion, sometimes you can just spam your Qs and literally kill an entire team that way, so I guess I can't really make that kind of statement, right? So here, the whole enemy team is kind of converging onto my team, and this is where Ezreal's weakness really gets exposed, which is the fact that he has horrible wave clear. You can see I'm struggling to clear the wave. I have to use my ulti to attempt to clear as much of the wave as I can. Veigar is in a really precarious position, gets hooked in by Darius, gets bursted down by Darius and Wukong. Down goes our mid lane inhibitor, and there goes our Nexus shield. Obviously Yone instantly just gets one shot, and I was thinking in my head that like this is where we lose the game, right? Wukong doesn't even die because Sona gives him a huge shield with the W as well. Tristana jumps in. That's way too aggressive by Tristana, and she does get punished for it. And here I'm running down the Teemo, and we get the kill on Teemo, but Teemo is the basically one guy on their team who's kind of feeding. So that's kind of the least valuable member. We want to kill, like, ideally like Wukong or Darius. Speaking of which, there is Wukong, so I'm going to chase him down. He's really, really low. And yeah, we probably can get him. There we go, we kill him. And Darius is now on the chase for us. We exhaust him. A huge shield by Morgana to save me from the Darius. Now Darius sees too many people here and he knows he can't chase, so he's gonna now back off. And I actually end up taking more damage than I healed from that honey fruit because of Teemo and his Liandry's Torment there that he placed at the fruit area. So now I'm gonna actually go back. I'm gonna start building towards my Riftmaker, and we're gonna see what we can do about the situation. Here Darius is trying to push, and I'm not too interested in fighting him alone, but what I do want is I want to pick up these minions. I'm not sure if he's in that bush, which is why I'm kind of positioning away from that bush, because I'm afraid that he's just going to hook me as he's like recalling in that bush, and if I get too close, he's definitely going to do that. So here, I'm just fighting farm wherever I can, which in this case is going to be the enemy, not enemy, the Merc Wolves in my jungle, and now I'm 555. So in terms of gold, me and Master Yi are actually at 10k gold, which is actually quite competitive with the enemy team, because even the 10-0 Darius has not only, but he has 13k gold, whereas I'm like reaching 11k gold now, which is like 3k gold behind him because he's reaching like 14k gold. But considering the fact that I'm 5-5 and they are, you know, he's 10-0, that's actually really different. Morgana gets an insane steal on the Baron. The thing about Morgana is that if she just plonks her puddle there and the enemy jungler misspikes by a single digit HP, Morgana is going to get the steal. So I think this is really the catalyst for what could be a comeback. As I say that, Tristana gets trapped in the Veigar cage, gets chain CC'd by all of us, and just gets taken down. So Tristana is eliminated out of the equation. And the last dragon is spawning, but this dragon is really irrelevant. What we want to do here is hopefully the enemy team gets baited, goes to the dragon, and we make use of Baron to kill some towers for objective bounties. We can see the entire enemy team is resetting, including the Darius as well as the Sona. Wukong is in the mid lane trying to hold the line. And honestly, ideally we should be pushing bot lane, because bot lane has the tier 1 tower still up, and that is going to be pretty easy to get with the Baron. Here the TX is going for the ulti onto the tower. But the minions are not in range, and that's actually going to make the TX do less damage to the tower, but with our help we're going to be able to take down the tower, getting ourselves the objective bounty. Wukong comes in, we're going to hop over the wall, but it turns out to be really funny because Wukong then flashes over the wall right to me, and I try to snipe him with my ulti, but I kind of miss. Darius is behind all of us, either cutting the wave or I'm not sure what he's doing, but again I managed to get the kill onto, I don't manage to get the kill onto Teemo. I thought I did, but yeah, here comes Darius, he hooks me in, I exhaust him, I'm gonna have to flash away, and now he is out of steam, right? He has already popped his ghost, he has already used his hook, so I'm actually chasing him now, I'm trying to still get that shutdown. But here I'm going to help the TX push the inhibitor, and we get another objective bounty, which is really, really huge. We're really catching up with the enemy team. TX is going ham, and I think that's it. We're not gonna be able to finish the game here because the Nexus shield is there, and we simply can't finish the game. So we're gonna have to now back off and hopefully you know, find some farm or something like that, get the dragon, you know, whatnot. TX dies, times out, and ideally what we want to do here is we want to reset. We can give the enemy team the dragon and we can simply reset. The dragon doesn't really matter because both teams already have one dragon. There's no dragon soul involved in this game, so whoever gets the dragon, it doesn't really matter at this point. So I back. We're building now towards the Bork, and also I want to point out we sold our Glenda's Greaves for armor boots because basically anyone who's important on the enemy team deals physical damage. You know, Teemo and Sona, they're not very important. They do magic damage. The rest of them all do physical damage. So here, as expected, the enemy team is doing the Baron. I'm sorry, doing the Dragon. And here Teemo is getting a little bit overextended, but we're not really able to chase him down because if we keep chasing him, the enemy team could come over and help him. Now here, nothing too much is really going on. We're now kind of just back in the game. Yone, by the way, is 0-10-0. He has literally no assist. I don't even know how that's possible. But the enemy team has now taken advantage of this and but taken our inhibitor. Now, I wasted a little bit of time here waiting for Master Yi to get the buff because I didn't want to piss him off after that blue buff situation. But that basically ended up causing me to not be in position. to really defend. Now here is the part of the game that gets really interesting. Baron and Elder are now both spawning, so this kind of leads to what could become very interesting situations. There could be a Baron for Elder trade on either team. There could be like team fights, you know, things like that. Here, I have no idea what Sona is doing here. She goes ham, she flashes in with her ulti. I'm still untouched at the moment. I'm focusing the Darius who is in the front line. I'm hitting him, I'm hitting him, I'm hitting him. I really want that shutdown. I'm still focusing him. And eventually somebody gets him. It's not me. And Tristana gets caught by Morgana, so I'm going to Arcane Shift in and finish the kill on her. Oh, by the way, it's Yone. Yone gets his first kill of the game, giving him the 1k shutdown. And he's still like 5k, 6k goal behind everybody else. So, literally the most useless person on my team got the shutdown, which it's... I mean, even if Morgana got that, that would have been better. But yeah, that's just a horrendous situation. Darius has had this huge shutdown, and it goes to the one guy who's useless on my team, which is... yeah, it makes the game way harder. So here... obviously now both objectives are still up, and likely what's gonna happen is both teams are gonna fight at one of them anyway. Now we know everybody likes to go for Elder first. I'm doing that as well, but this probably means that there's gonna be a fight, because if we don't do Baron and we do Elder, the whole enemy team is gonna come here to contest, and my team is also gonna come here, so it's probably just gonna be a fight at the Elder. Now whole enemy team is alive. I believe my team respawns a little bit before the enemy team. We're trying to burst down the Elder as quickly as we can. We can see some members are already there, but we are actually able to get the Elder, and now we want to rush over to the Baron, because I'm thinking Tristana's missing, Wukong's missing, maybe they're doing the Baron. So here Veigar is taking the Hex Gate down, we are just walking down like chumps, but Wukong and Tristana are actually spotted in the mid lane, so they're not actually doing Baron, which now leaves the door open for us to do Baron. So now the only thing we gotta take note of is the enemy team can actually end through mid if they stop all of our backs. So here, I actually go ham here, and I kind of Arcane Shift in when I shouldn't, but what ends up happening is I end up ulting here and getting like a triple kill, which, yeah, you know what, never punished, right? So here, we're going to clear the wave, and we are going to go ahead and try to end the game. Now, we have both Baron and Elder. We really need somebody to go back and take the Baron just in case. So, our support is going to actually recall and pick up the Baron in case we can't end the game with the Baron. Now, if for some reason, like, all four of us die to the Darius or something like that, with the Baron and the super minions in the mid lane, the TX can ult and basically kill the base. So whatever it is, we should have won this game. There should be literally no way we lose this game. And Darius, yeah, basically has just given up, and we do end up getting the win in the game. So thank you guys so much for watching the video. I'm going to leave you guys with the stats as usual, and goodbye.